Okay, we are live and it is a Thursday afternoon. It is noon my time, but I know most of my peeps are already heading into the late afternoon. So thank you for joining me, finding time in your day to hang out with me. And for those who watch on playback, I appreciate you as well. And if everyone could just remember to hit that like, and if possible, leave a comment, even if it's a little emoji, that would be much appreciated. So today I was supposed to be doing a show with Ben. However, Ben, like some of us, got hit with a nasty migraine, and so he had to take the day off. So we will be back at a later date to talk about our favorite 80s movies. So I thought I would come on, and I haven't done ancestral readings in a while. And that's what I was kind of getting pulled to do. And with all my new decks, pulling cards from ancient ancestors, I have my beautiful emerald papyrus deck here with me. I have my gorgeous new Baroque tarot with me. Of course, my ancestral healing by Angie Sullins. No, Ina Segal, excuse me, and Jenna Del Gratalia. Jenna works with so many people these days, so sometimes I lose track of exactly who is her author, and she's even doing her own solo writing and cards as well. Oh, too bad, just got in. Hello, Roman, and a quick plug this Friday night. Ivana also has come down with the cold and won't be able to join me. So is the season, us running around, and it's winter, and we're very susceptible to colds. And so Roman will be joining me Friday to hang out. And anybody else who is free that would like to join us, please let me know. It's a kind of a like pre-birthday celebration. Tomorrow, talking about ancestral readings, I want to give a shout out to my great grandma, Magdalena Micano, over on the other side. Today was her birthday. So happy birthday to my great grandma, who was actually German and married an Irishman. So I never got to meet her. She died when I was 2, so not enough to be able to remember her. But she always had nice things to say about me as a baby to my mother. So, um, I wish her happy birthday in spirit. And then tomorrow is my sister's. We're not communicating, but it is my big sis' birthday tomorrow. And then on Saturday, it will be mine. So lots of Saggies in our family. And oh, Kristen, you have a new photo? What is your new photo? I see the tree, but did you come up with another photo? Kristen's beautiful. I mean, she's so photogenic. You couldn't take a bad picture, Kristen. So yes, so today I brought a couple different decks. I got my Yuletide with me, and I also went ahead and started to ach so Deutscher. Uh, Deut. Oh, you'll have to teach me. Things on Facebook. Oh, I'll have to check it out, Kristen. So I start shuffling, getting ready for the show, and I'm thinking I'm going to start with a collective. No, I don't know about that, but yeah. So I was starting to get drawing to pull. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Pre-show is kind of get inspired to do a collective to start the show off with. I'll be doing ancestors, spirit messages today. See whoever is coming from where. Never know what time frame. Like I said, I have my Egyptian, I have my Baroque, and I want to get a couple more art history time period decks too. I also brought my where is the front cover to this deck? There you are. My Lost Tarot. I also brought that. So many decks, so little time. So to get started, from the Yuletide deck I pulled for the collective is the Darkest Hour came up. And the darkest hour. There is the void of thy darkness. No, there in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. So this is commenting on we do go through dark nights of the soul, and we just had a beautiful full moon last night, super moon. And the first time I've seen one directly from my window, really, since we moved here. She was spectacular. And it's reminding us that our shadow is there to help us heal, to process our pains, our traumas. So, and with the cycles too above her head, also acknowledging cycles and patterns that we inherit from our ancestors, whether ones that we have never met or are not aware of, or the ones that are more of our immediate generation. So, really learning how to, or looking into acknowledging and honoring, those cycles that we wish to break that might have been a negative cycle or pattern within our family, and finding ways to heal that within ourselves and to change or transmute that for future generations, and also to help our ancestors on the other side to heal as well. And I kept trying to find the Lenormand and Celtic cards I saw a while back. I am very picky, very, very finicky when it comes to especially the Celtic. So I'm hoping at some point I find one Roman just as beautiful as this gorgeous Egyptian one that I found. And speaking of, so from the Emerald Papyrus, the top card is Two of Vessels. And of course, this is the Two of Cups. And what the beautiful thing is, this is about relationships. So acknowledging relationships within ourselves and with our ancestors. Acknowledging, and maybe at this time of year, connecting with those close relationships and finding ways to heal with them if they were with people who, we loved and they may have betrayed our trust or our love, or that we just didn't really get along with, but we do love, like my sister, my big sis. I will always love her, but do we get along? No. Do we speak? No. But this is a time when really acknowledging, embracing the relationships we have, close relationships we have with our ancestors and in our family in this life. And and the bottom card, the underlying energy, is to find balance with those relationships. We've got Temperance. And so balancing the emotions, being grounded and being able to have patience as well as we work through honoring and acknowledging our ancestors and whatever it is that we need to work through for them, and for them to work through us to help us. Again, being a beautiful conduit, tapping into our emotions and our intuitions, and allowing them to be able to help us when we need it, but only knowing when we ask for that help. So again, finding that balance. Nancy! Hello, Miss Nancy. How are you? I know you said earlier that you were feeling better. They said it's supposed to be two nights. It was beautiful last night. I mean, I'm hoping to see it again tonight. Just absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't believe it. I set out my water for my painting with Jonathan on Friday for it to get full moon energized. Yes. The full moon was out my window, it looked absolutely full. And I know that there was a website page that mentioned, 4th, 5th, we're going to be seeing a really beautiful full moon. So it will be fully full tonight. So that water's going to go back out. And just woke up from a nap. I become a nap queen. Nancy, I took a nap too yesterday. So We get the rest when we need it. She's pulling that nice Egyptian deck again. So, from our ancestral healing deck, we have explore your relationship with your mother. And this could very well be our mothers, our ancestors coming through, particularly at this time. So, honoring them, um, you know, even if they, caused us harm, or, duress, those lessons that the ways that they treated us were also gifts because it showed us what we want to how to treat others differently. But again, this is a beautiful acknowledgement of all of our female ancestors, and our relationship with the divine feminine as well. So remembering to acknowledge and to honor our mothers, ourselves, and our past lineage. Let me put her back there. And the last two from my Baroque tarot, um, messages from the ancestors, Six of Pentacles, not being afraid to receive as well as to give. This is again, and this is the perfect time for the season. We are, giving to those less fortunate to help them out through the holidays, and being able to also ask for help from our ancestors to be able to help sustain us through this season and through times when maybe things are rough and we may be ashamed, or we may feel humiliated for asking for help. And so this is a beautiful card as a reminder too that our ancestors are always there, to call upon us if we need help. Um, the generosity extends even from when they're on the other side. And the underlying card is beautiful celebration, the Four of Wands. So them celebrating us celebrating them, again, especially at this time of year, and knowing that when we work with our ancestors on the other side, it does build very strong, beautiful, celebratory foundations. So that's what I have to start off with the collective. And let me take a sip of my apple cinnamon spice tea that Shan made for me. And Mona is here. Hello, Mona. Let me take a sip. Mm. Oh, that feels so good going down. Nice and warm. And Irene just got back in, getting a hot drink. Me too. Enjoy, Irene. Oh, she's pulling that. Okay. Right. Always glad when my friends have nice decks to celebrate. And Heather's seen a couple more on Amazon. Gustav Klimt. There is a Botticelli. There is a Byzantine. And all of Heather's bells and whistles started going off from her art history. And also, it makes, yeah. And Nancy knows. Nancy loves her decks. Was it like 3 or 4 months ago, or even before? I think maybe before I moved from New York, Nancy's like, Heather, I'm not getting any more decks. I'm going to focus on the ones I have. And then a couple of days later, Heather, guess what I did? Let me guess, Nancy, you got a new deck. Yes. So if decks make us happy and make us, bring us joy, why not? And Shan's very enabling of me because of the type of collection he used to have with video games. Apparently he had over 500 or so of them. So he goes, if your decks make you happy and you enjoy them, he goes, you get them. I know, Nancy, so many choices, so little time. Okay, I am officially, and speaking of birthdays really quick, this wasn't cheap, but he bought me my birthday gift early so I could have it for today. This beautiful roll-on oil, and look what it's called, y'all, Indigo Blush. And it has hints of, where's the little box? Because the print is so small, I want to make sure I get this right. Notes of rose, tansy, and tobacco. And I'm not a tobacco person, but the scent isn't like cigarette tobacco, just an absolutely beautiful scent. Perfect for me. So I dabbed a little bit of that on. So All righty. Well, let's open the floor for readings. Let me find my little clicker here. So, if you would like an ancestral reading, you know what to do. So, I'll take another sip. I was kind of like, but Shannon, honey, that's like $15. And he goes, well, you go to an apartment store and get a small bottle of perfume for like $60. So he finds ways of making a good argument, So, but yeah, I'll just sit here and wait to see if anybody would like a reading. Also, a Van Gogh. I think I seen that and it did not resonate with me. I'm going to keep my eye out though for the right one. So okay, Mona, thank you, my dear. Be nice if someone did an impressionist. But some people throw just decks together willy-nilly and say, hey, here, and for me, like the Baroque, even though it costs a little extra, I knew I was paying for quality. So, alrighty, so Mona would like one. So let's get started with Mona. Let me write your name down here. Okay, set my tea aside and see what we get. You love your ancestors? Oh, that's nice, Mona. There are a few that I do love, a few that, from what I've been told, on the other side want to help me, but I have declined just because of some very awful things that they did on Earth. And I know that this is supposed to be, helping a way of helping them heal. But when the time is right, just a general, well, Roman, you know that this general is going to be a message from Spirit. So there you go. Yep, you love the mean ones too. Yep. Alrighty, so it's cold. Yeah. I think we have a high of 45 today, but it was chilly. So let's just start with this one here, Mona. Develop familial compassion. And for me, and it sounds like you're already doing this and your ancestors are acknowledging that. Showing compassion. You just said that, you even love the ones that were mean. And so they are acknowledging that you are creating and you are developing compassion for those on the other sides, especially those who were mean or may have hurt you. And acknowledging that, sometimes we have to remember the time, what, society was like, what type of laws were in place, etc., where sometimes some of our ancestors didn't know anything different. And then yet there were those who did and stood up against, the norm. But this here is a beautiful acknowledgement that you are making those connections and you're showing compassion where it needs to be. And I see Irene. Okay, let me write you down. Irene and Kristen. Ooh, you're Irish. Oh, I wish I had an Irish deck. Okay, let me write that down. Irish. That survived potato famine. Wow. I think Shan also. I think most have. And let's see. The mean ones carried such pain in their lifetimes here on Earth. It's -2. Oh, and snowing like crazy. Oh boy. Well, you huddle up. Nice warm sip. Okay, so let's go to the Yuletide card for Mona. Okay, you got the light card. Hope is but a word casting the unseen. Let there be light where light is but a dream. So this is them also acknowledging to share your light with others, that you have this beautiful glow of light around you, and that even when um, there seems to be darkness, not just within your life, but in other people's that you encounter, um, that you show that light. And they said to continue sharing that light, because when we share our light with others, it helps them um, on many different levels, to help them heal and to maybe turn things around for themselves and help to bring more light in, especially if there's grief or sadness or loss, depression. You sharing your light with others. And I think it was Jonathan Daly who told me, that brought this up, is that from one candle, like the one she's holding here, Mona, from one candle flame, all these candles can be lit. You don't require a second flame. You can light and create light from a single flame, from your flame. So that's the message I believe coming for you from that card. And hello, Beth. And let's see, I'm getting drawn to pull from my Baroque. And let's see what your for Mona, messages from ancestors. Spirit. Okay. So they also are going to acknowledge that if you go through moments of darkness for yourself as well, Mona, to make sure that you share that, you turn that light within for you as well. Because everything I was just saying with about how you share your light with others are basically showing up in your tarot. The underlying energy, sadness, grief, depression, having to let things go. And, there's two cups behind him, but he's still focusing on the spilled cups, the sadness, the grief. But what I love too about this card is that he's standing by a river or a stream, and those streams move, without, water can find its way through anything. Um, and with that, it's about giving over your sadness, your grief, or helping others give over their sadness or grief to the rivers, to carry them to, the oceans, where they can take that pain and that sadness and absorb it back into the earth mother. And your top card is the Ten of Wands. So really helping others with their burdens, and with you showing that love and compassion, to even the ones, your ancestors, that were harsh or mean in the lifetime. Um, their burdens, you try to help relieve their burdens. But another thing that's coming with this is that as much as you love to show your light, be careful how much of people's pain and sorrows that you absorb yourself. Make sure that you're able to, like with that Five of Cups, be able to hand that over back to nature, back to spirit, so that doesn't bring your light down, that doesn't drain you. Because there are some folks too that, can be an emotional vampire, a psychic vampire, where we feel drained. And so we need to make sure that we don't take on all of their burdens and make them our burdens. So acknowledging again, you are the light, and you do help those that do have a lot of burdens and a lot of sadness. But just the message of being sure that, again, you don't take that on, you don't hold that energy within you, and that you find a way to ground it and transmute that, so that you can continue being a light, not just for others, but for yourself as well. All righty. Let's see. The candles. Yes, it is a beautiful card. Now we said hello to Beth. There's Beth. Okay. Oh boy, 50 below. I remember when we had the polar vortex moving through Western New York, especially up with us near the falls. Man, those 2 winters in a row were brutal. It was like minus 30, minus 40, at one point minus 50. So, I know what wind chill factor is. Let's see. Mona. I chose some horrifying things to experience in this lifetime and can help others find their way to cannot take on their burdens. Yes, you can help others, but remember not to take theirs from you and put them onto you. That's something there that you can support them with by showing them the light, by shining the light, showing them the hope that is there. And, but again, making sure that you don't absorb all of that into you. And if you feel like you take sometimes on too much, to do some sort of ritual where you can go to the earth, put your hands on the ground, give it back to the mother, go to the river and ask the rivers to take that energy. So you do understand. Okay. Whoops. Let's see. There we go. And Irene says yes, that she understands that too. All righty. Up next is Irene with the cold little fingers. I'm so sorry, Irene. But hopefully that nice warm drink will help keep your fingers warm for a bit. So I'm going to the Yuletide first. Solstice. Okay, so with ancestors and spirits, I am feeling a grandmother of some type coming into the reading here. And again, as always, grandmothers not necessarily mean, part of our blood family. We can have women in our lives that were very like a grandmother to us, or mothers like to us. Like I consider Nancy a mama. If things are going wrong or going hard, I know I can reach out to her and talk to her. So there are different people that take on those roles for us. But I'm getting the beautiful solstice card, Irene. And I feel like mother energy, grandmother energy is coming in. And it could be mother, but I'm feeling grandmother. And it's cute too how the little deer maidens are peeking from around the trees. This could maybe represent 3 generations back, perhaps. But it says here, all hail the cunning truth in which it burns deep within root. Rise above the ashes and claim the gods are awaiting your glory, your name. So they are there supporting you and waiting for you to rise above. They are there as part of your support, your cheering team, so to speak. Let the grandmothers know that you welcome their support, their love, and their strength during these difficult moments that you are going through. That is beautiful. The gods are awaiting your glory and your name. Wow. So let's see what we get. Hey, Jax, girl, don't you worry about making it. You have been a busy little beaver today, and not necessarily all in the good way. So if we can all share some healing, love, and support to our Jax, our mingled unicorn here, it's been a rough day for this girl. Okay, so Irene, now the ancestral. Ooh, you're going to need to call in that grandmother energy, that maternal energy, especially generations, because you did get prepared to be tested, Irene. And it's interesting that it's a hand with a pomegranate, not an apple. But there are snakes hiding amongst the grass, or in this case, the fruit, things that are being offered. So what I'm liking this to is, how, Persephone started to eat a pomegranate. I think it was offered to her. And thankfully, she only got down to 6 seeds before realizing or being made aware of that she had been tricked. And so this is telling me that you're going to be tested. Someone is going to offer you, you know, maybe a peace offering or something that might be, I don't, to me, pomegranates are very bitter. I know a lot of people enjoy them, but if they offer you the fruits of something that looks very appetizing or tantalizing or seems to be a gesture of goodwill, beware of that. For, the snake is, slithering within the hands. So this is going, you're coming to a time when you're going to be tested and to stand true in your power and your abilities and be able to see and call out if you need to. And I think you had a card like that before too, where it was, acknowledging that, you know, um, to keep your eyes open. I think it was a fox or something telling you to be cunning, being camouflaged, that people would, um, like the fox in the hen house sort of deal. Well, there will be those that will help. Oh, Kristen has to go. Oh, Kristen, I didn't get to read. Kristen, I will still pull cards. I'll do that at the end. We are at a coffee shop and the hubby wants to head home. Okay. I'll do a reading for Kristen at the very end. So, Irene, more information. Okay. So, the tarot continues to acknowledge that you have the strength to endure and that you also have the 10 of Cups, which is about emotional celebration, celebrating of family, celebrating of achievements, success, those that you call family, they will be a part of that 10 of Cups, that celebration. And the top card again is knowing that your ancestors are lending you, or they're lending you their strength, but also acknowledging that you have that inner strength as well. That's the lion, taming the wild, taming so-called, the beast. But there's no taming or overpowering. It's just a beautiful connection to your wild side and finding strength within that and knowing when to use that energy to your advantage, with no harm, unless, harm comes karmic. But when I say harm is that, that conflicts be resolved without the harming of, other individuals. And again, on course, that spirit that takes over with, with the karma. But this is acknowledging that they're offering and giving you strength, but they're also reminding you that it's in you as well. And I love how the line's looking right at her saying, you've got this in you. You've got this. And again, that 10 of Cups too is a card of family and celebration. So your ancestors, your ancestors, your guides, your spirits, they are celebrating you. There are family on the other side, as well as, as with your daughter, that are celebrating you, that, are telling you to keep going and that, to embrace the ones that do love you on this earth and to remember them when the ones that aren't family, like they said they are, they turn on you. Just know that they're celebrating you on the other side, and to, as a reminder again, to celebrate those in this lifetime that still love you, including yourself. Let's see. I think maybe the fox is in the government, or in that case, that snake, Ugh. reptilian. Yeah, that is a lovely. You got a girl. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. Yeah, okay, all caught up. So, moving on. So I can't, so Kristen had to leave. So if anybody else would like a card, please let me know. Or like a reading. Yep, all over. Don't be dissing snakes. Well, in this case, it's a learning that it's the not the nice ones. Beth, this one deck I got, I have to get used to some of these, and there's some that are I can see that are very spiritual, and then there are ones that kind of present themselves where it's just kind of like too with that card with the pomegranate. This could also be people watching because snakes have the ability to shed their skins, which is why it's one of the animals connected to the goddess, because the goddess can shed her blood and still survive every month. So with the snake, it's the shedding of skin. So people are also saying to you they're shedding their skin and saying, well, I've changed, I'm a different person. Still be aware of that too as well. um, oh, I love skunks until my dog got sprayed by one, and that was just, oh my God. So I see I have 7 people. If there's anyone else that would like a reading, please let me know. And if not, I will do Chris's reading for last. Let's see. Oh, I know what the symbolism is, Beth. It's just I have an innate fear. I know something very bad happened with them, and I've also, you know, it's hard to explain, but yeah, with everything, there's a positive and a negative. Um, but I choose not to. I will acknowledge the different symbolisms and how they connect with the cards, but um, you know, we'll see. But for me, hmm yeah, spiders. Yeah, I don't mind the spiders. Unless it's a black widow that was in my place, and I'm like, no, you've got to, no, 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 no. It's been a good year for you. I'm glad to hear that, my dear. Oh, wait a minute. In the Chinese New Year, I am the snake, and this is the year of the snake. Ah, shedding the see again, a positive aspect of the snake. We're all shedding our skins. People are revealing brand new selves or true selves that they were hiding behind that skin. And it's a chance for death and rebirth and renewal. And personally, I'm afraid of sharks. Yes, Beth, I am right there with you. The sharks, alligator crocs, and the snakes. Most any other reptile, I absolutely love them. I got to have a bearded dragon on me once, and I love them. So for me, it's quite possibly something that had happened in a past life and or something that might have happened in this life. But ever since a child, they have been used to torture me. So, and it could very well be too by the one spirit that was evil that was in our house. So, gotta give me a little wriggle room here with the things, Beth. I'm doing my best, you know what I'm saying? So I did see, I mirror the dog too. I'm a dog, woof woof. Jaws put the fear of sharks. Yep, I remember, oh, I can watch this movie. And then I went to go visit my sister in Michigan and went out into, I can't remember which lake it was. Was it Superior? Here, but one of them where Taos Bay was. And the minute I got under the water, I kept thinking I saw a shark coming after me. It was nuts. It was nuts. So, oh, the fire horse again. Wow. So, Jax, I saw. I will get to your cards. Yes, you could barely take a bath. Oh my God. So, Beth, you understand. Okay, Jax. Messages from ancestors and spirits. And or spirit. It's my favorite card. I love this artwork. I used to have long braids. Not as that long, but my hair used to be long enough where I had very long braids. You got this card, baby, and it's Grow Beyond Shame. And they are acknowledging that, and they want you to keep remembering that you have grown. You have, like the snake, you have shed old skin. You have rebirthed yourself. You have, dealt with certain demons from the past. And even though you're continuing moving forward with others, it has shown your growth as a human being, as a spiritual being. And they're acknowledging that. So they are acknowledging to continue growing beyond, especially if anyone tries to throw any shame or shade on you. And this is a good card for all of us too, as well, because that's one of the things that holds people down and it breaks people's spirits, especially with mainstream religions. A lot of it focuses on guilt, shame, fear, supplication, submission. The list goes on. So this is about rising above, and just rising above, standing out in the light, and not being brought down by anyone's guilt or shame that they throw at you. Like Madonna said, don't hang your shit on me. I'm not your bitch. So there we go. I can use that with with Jax. Today's I face shadows I have been putting off. It was rough. You panicked, you took a deep breath, and then you kicked ass. So from the Witches, Seasons of the Witch, you got contemplation. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't. Coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows, sink. Oh my God, girl. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold. So this card again is about contemplation, acknowledging and seeing where you have risen, where others have fallen. Breathing in the stillness, breathing in what you had to do today, breathing in the strength, breathing in spirit, breathing in, the help that you knew that you were getting from your ancestors, your guides, your higher self, breathing that in and exhaling the fear, the negativity, not letting that overcome you. And so this card is acknowledging, that contemplation, being able to be in the moment and giving yourself that very well-deserved pat on the back saying, okay, we survived, we made it. Not to say survived, we thrived. We did survive it, but now we're going to thrive. So that is beautiful. And it says, here I gasp for the answers to unfold. So with everything that you're waiting for that moment where you can go, and things will fall into place. Is it always going to be smooth? Probably not, but you are getting there. And when you contemplate and you acknowledge how far you've come again and all the steps that you have made, no matter how small, they get you there, Did I pull a card from this deck? Yes, I did. Okay, so your tarot cards, I'm going to pull from the Baroque. I love saying Baroque because I can roll my R. Let's see. Oh, man, right on. I'm a thinker. I have to sit with this until it no longer holds power over me. Yep, it's a process. So your tarot. And I says I have 10 in chat. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. And this makes sense. So again, ancestor spirit acknowledging the underlying energy, this Queen of Pentacles. That's you, the nurturing mother, getting things done, providing food, stability, security, taking care of the kids, doing everything that you can, knowing and they themselves feel more sense of safety and security, knowing that you are there to look over them, to take care of them, and be there for them with whatever needs. And for me, the Queen of Pentacles kind of, um, well, to me, she actually represents all the queens into one because of the pentacle. She is the queen, aspect of the Queen of Swords that can sit and think things through and communicate clearly what needs to be said and what needs to be done. The emotional part, you offer that emotional support, nurturing, kindness, compassion, the fire aspect, your enthusiasm, inspiration, how you get things and people motivated, including yourself. So this is a beautiful acknowledgement of you, and especially from your female ancestors, the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunts, everybody, acknowledging that. And then your over under all line energy is the Two of Pentacles. So they're acknowledging you are balancing, you are doing that dance of balancing finances, the medical help, balancing, the safety, the security, balancing everything. This is a balancing act, your finances, whether if there's a career involved, education, schooling, medical, you're doing the dance. You're finding a way of staying balanced while juggling all this. So damn right I juggle. So yeah, just keep going, girl. You got this. They're acknowledging that. I just love how all the cards are just, connecting. So, alrighty, I'll just take a sip. Let's see. Cypress Hill. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Yep, I got that's on my playlist. Cream of the crop. I right to the top. Oh my God. I didn't like a lot of that music, but that was one of my favorite songs. So what you want? The Queen of Swords telling people what you want, right? This gave me. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, baby. I was gonna say I'm glad to hear that, baby. What? Smack that baby. Well, not smack, but you know what I mean. Hit me, baby, one more time. But yeah, and everybody, make sure to smack that sassy, that like button. Much appreciated. You are doing better. I'm glad to hear that. So I'll give it a few more minutes because I'm a Terminator, like Arches. Oh, I have been having so much fun going through. Now that I got this laptop, I was able to bring back my old Spotify and the songs I was listening. Some of the ones I was listening back in 2017, 16. I'm like, what was I doing listening to this stuff? Some things are, oh my goodness, how we change. So, if anybody else, and if people are considering whether or not they want a read, I can just shuffle and pull random cards as well, especially from my Emerald Papyrus, the ancient Egyptians, or ancient ancestors. So this is connected with modern times. Nine of Discs, Nine of Pentacles, bathing in our own. So this is the Garden card. This is the Independence card. This is showing how far we have come. In traditional tarot, it's the woman in her beautiful garden with her hawk or her kestrel and her little lizard. Sorry, Jonathan, there's no lizard in this one. But showing in here, it's in the temple, it's in the pools. She's bathing, she's celebrating and releasing and relaxing into everything that she's had to go through, especially emotionally. So this is her sacred space, her sacred moment. Garden, my favorite Pearl Jam song. My favorite is Black. I went through a nasty, well, not nasty, but very heartbreaking breakup. Just as I was getting into that, and the song Black did it every time. Another one that came out, and Five of Vessels. So Five of Cups again. Releasing what no longer serves us, the sadness, the depression, the grief, working through it. Sometimes it takes, let's say, all of us are different. Takes different, we're all at different stages of grief. And in this card here, just walking through that gateway, that portal, and heading towards, that pyramid, the apex, and how it points up to the moon. So really giving our sadness, our pain, walking past that, leaving it behind. And again, she's by the Nile, like with the other cards, with depression, with the Five of Cups, everything with the water, giving it to the water, letting it flow away. No, this is random cards. So, somebody here. Is this Jack's reading? No, this is just random right now. Nancy, would you like one, my dear? I see you're still here. Yellow Ledbetter too, and I have no idea what he's saying. Eddie is turning, yeah, that, or like Kurt Cobain, you can hardly understand some of the things he said. Oh, Nancy likes Paint It Black. Rolling Stones. I want to paint it black. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll just shuffle to see if anybody pops in and wants a reading. Woo! I hope that didn't come out too loud over there, y'all. But I really love my Baroque too. And I have my Golden Art Nouveau I still need to use. G.O.B. did a punk rock version of Paint It Black. It's so good. G.O.B. I'm not sure if I know. Oh, with the green papyrus? Okay. Do you want an ancestral card too, Miss Nancy? Or just the papyrus? So Nancy. Whoa. Okay, I'll just set that there. Okay, Nancy, spirit from ancestors. Or spirit. Nancy, that card came back out again. And so did that one. So when cards repeat, then you know it's a collective that we all really need to pay attention. Nancy, I'm still going to pull you an ancestral. Oh, nope, just okay. Gotcha. I put it down. So when I started shuffling, the 10 of discs flew out. And of course, this is the 10 of Pentacles. So this is about, again, legacy. Coming full circle with your legacy, with that sense of security, the home. And I love these two wolves that are in there, these two beautiful white wolves. And so it's, to me, it's acknowledging the, so they're starting to go through the portal and looking beyond. So this is, and with the wolves mate for life. They're a pack. So I'm wondering if this is why she put the wolves in there. But this is about ancestors stepping through the portal, coming to acknowledge and acknowledging their legacy that you share with others and how you honor their legacy. And they're here to do the same for you. And they're waiting, almost kind of like anticipating for when it is your turn to join them as well. Um, I am going to maybe nope, I'm not going to grab the book. I'm going to go by instinct here. So the top card that came out is the Eight of Columns, which is the Wands. And so things right now are moving swiftly. Things have, to me, this feels like this is them sending messages that are coming in. You may be receiving messages from them coming in very quickly, very swiftly. Things are happening in a very fast manner. Um, the wands are about inspiration and creativity and motivation. Um, but there's this sense of urgency. Things are moving, things are coming in, receiving. I know swords are usually about receiving messages, but this too, it's like you feel them coming all in around you. Since you had gotten ill, the sense of urgency, of family coming in, generations past, ancestors way long ago, um, not just the people, that are in our physical plane, um, but events happening very swiftly. Now, your next card is the Temperance card. So this is a time requiring balance again. So we got this came up again along with the Five of Vessels. So again, finding that sense of balance, moderation, making, with this here, focusing a lot more on the waters, really watching, um, for me, it's almost kind of like too, Nancy, the Ace of Cups, how the water just tends to be flowing over. So I feel like this is a very emotional time. Um, You're getting a lot of messages. You're tapping more into your intuition. You're trying to find the footing, trying to find the balance so that you can process everything that you've been feeling and experiencing, not just within yourself and from others, but also from spirit. But also, I think a lot to do with, like with the Eight of Wands here. You feel the messages of and prayers and love of people coming to you, to help you through this. And so during this time, making sure that you do things in moderation, you stay balanced, and the underlying energy, there's some sadness, it feels like, again, because here comes the Five of Vessels. So there is a sense of sadness, maybe grief and depression. um, so when you start to feel heavy, or when you start to feel down, know that your ancestors are there around you to support you through this. You know that we have you as well. Um, but also being a vessel of those kinds of emotions, finding ways of letting them out, making sure you have all those beautiful journals, writing in the journals, reading your books, um, connecting with spirit and your guides and your ancestors with your cards. Um, and she's walking again in front of that Nile, allowing those emotions to come and take those away. And with the ibis birds remind me of the herons and the storks too. And those are about kind of like repeating patterns. Storks are animals of habit. They return every year to nest. Um, they represent also fertility, new ideas. So a lot of this is coming in. So much information, so many things that you need to do, where it requires, the balance, the moderation, to be able to handle the emotions that you are feeling right now, and not just from others, but for yourself, but from others. You know, the sadness that others feel for what you're going through right now. Um, but making sure that you don't get brought down, that you stay strong. And that's what the ancestors, the 10 of discs, the 10 of pentacles. So that's what I have for you, Miss Nancy. Right now, the 8 of Wands is my stalker card in a good way. The flow of my current path, the motions, yeah, the river. Wow. Hey, Jackie, I'm going to get a hold of you, girl. I got your message. We'll respond this afternoon. I'm excited. Jackie's going to join me on my channel. She's giving me option either a Friday night hangout or a Sacred Feminine. So stay tuned and find out which one we do. And Mousy Girl is here. Hello, Mousy. Yeah, I was going to say Mozzie, but Mousy. So good to see you here. I still have time if anybody would like a reading. For anyone who has come in, Mousy or Jackie. Ancestral, I have my Ancestral Healing deck. I have my Yuletide. I got my beautiful Baroque. I've got my Emerald Papyrus. Well, that didn't take long. Jackie's like, me. And then my last read will be for Kristen Louise, who wanted a read and couldn't stay in chat. And Mousy. Okay. Let's see. Oh, even when it's cold, it's still good. Alrighty. So, like the pyramids were all about the raising the vibration and energy from the earth. So there you go, Nancy. You're your own Tesla coil, so to speak. So, Jackie, messages from ancestors, spirits. Let's see what we have. Okay, we'll start with this one first. You have explore your relationship with your father. So I don't know if your father is still alive, my dear, but this is acknowledging your father or people who represented or were like a fatherly figure to you in this life. And if that doesn't resonate, then definitely father on the other side, or again, somebody who was very father-like to you. And this could very well be maybe acknowledging the paternal line, even though you may not have met these people. You know, they may very well be very significant to you, for you on the spiritual side, on the other side. And so your father is still alive. Okay, so this is them acknowledging on your relationship with your father. So not going to pry. So I'm feeling like, okay, this needs to be addressed. But let's see, let's get a Yuletide, because the Yuletide tends to have quite a bit of generational messages, because this is a year when families get together. So as families get together, I got the family card. Aw. So you got the family card. And again, there's the father. And so it says here, thy love is present in the presence of thee. Aw. And a comforting veil that warms the heart and hugs the soul. So explore your relationship with your father. So this is, again, acknowledging family coming through. Let me pull a few tarot cards to see where we're going with this. I'm looking at which deck. I'll stick with my Baroque. I've been feeling presence of his father, which is my grandfather, who passed in May of this. Okay. So that could be very, again, a person who necessarily wasn't our father, but had very father. So, okay. So that would make sense with the family card. acknowledging that he is around the family. Um, People can feel that love. Um, oh, how beautiful. Let's see what we have. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So, your grandfather. I got the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is, basically kind of like a hoarding card, a selfishness card. It could be, or this may be something that needs to be required, but this has to do with wealth, finances, kind of miserly. I don't know if Grandpa was maybe more of a bit of a miser, holding on, not really wanting to share a lot of finances or money with family members. Um, that's the underlying energy. Let me see what the next card here is. Six of Pentacles. Well, that's very interesting. So I'm feeling like on the other side, he's trying to be more generous, giving more to. This is kind of like like the charity card, giving to others that don't have a lot. So this could very well be acknowledging now on the other side, possibly having seen the ways of withholding that sense of support, finances, security, or even acknowledging that this was something that he had to do for people to survive. But this tends to be a little bit more of a, oh, I hate to say the word selfish, but this is more holding on to, um, or keeping close to oneself. But now the Six of Pentacles feels like possibly there's been a change of heart on the other side, and acknowledging that even too, um, how the family continues to be kind to one another and is very generous and very giving, not just to one another but to others in need as well. And your top card is the Strength card. And it shows again to tapping into that strength, that resiliency that you have. He admires that within you and reminds you to continue um, to, to continue standing in your power and to keep referring to that strength, especially when times are difficult. And this in this Four of Pentacles could be him, not necessarily him, but could also be acknowledging maybe people that are currently in the family that withhold and do not want to share, which may cause a feeling of scarcity. And whereas maybe you are more of the giving type, the more generous, willing to share with others. And it's always important to be able to receive back, but for a lot of purposes, it's about you not worried about getting paid back or getting things in return. You give generously of yourself, but just to now acknowledge too that not to have people take advantage of you. Yes, grandfather and dad were very selfish. Okay, so this shows how you are breaking that cycle and acknowledging the strength that you have to be able to do that by being more generous, and supportive and kind to others. Um, so yeah, Jackie, that's what I have for you. That family. I keep looking at that family card, and he's acknowledging the family. Thy love is present in the presence of the, acknowledging that he does send love. Because I know some people don't change on the other side. It takes a while for them to heal. But here, there's that acknowledgement of a loving family and feeling the hugs of the soul. It feels like he's sending out good tidings and acknowledging the strengths that you have, that he didn't show, or they don't show or possess in this lifetime, and the amount of strength it took for you to possibly stand up to, a personality like his and your father. So that's what I have for you, my dear. No, my dad was kind of like that too, but now that I'm older, I realize why he in many ways was like that, because of my mother, and because there was no communication or a relationship allowed really between us. It kind of, so yeah, a lot of healing taking place that does take place on the other side. So that's what I have for you, my dear. Alrighty, you're welcome. So Mousy, you are up next. Let's get an ancestral card. Yes, they are. Now, I have a fellow reader who doesn't believe in spells. She says, as long as you're the light, you don't need spells. But spells, and I gave her that space because we all believe differently. Our spiritual understanding and practices are different from one another, but speech are spells. Words have power. No, it wasn't exactly, Beth. So, Mousy. Oh, tell me to pull 2 cards from there. Okay. And I'm being told to pull from my other deck. So let's see what we get here. I think I can pull from the Yuletide too. I'll give it the Seasons of the Witch cards. They can be very cryptic. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Boy, temperance, balance, moderation is a big theme today for all of us. Bye, Beth. Thanks for popping in, my dear. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let me grab my pendulum. I have a question. Okay, acknowledging, is this an ancestor? Okay, it's a male ancestor. Person on the other side. Yes. Okay. Is this an ancestor? Okay, did this ancestor die young? This is a Page of Pentacles. No. Okay, this is ancestor woman. Alrighty. Okay. So Mousy. Libra, so balance is important. Gotcha, girl. And I'm going to go ahead still and pull from the Yuletide. Okay. Okay, that's going to be last because that will incorporate this reading. Okay. So your ancestral cards that came out, Mousy, is go beyond survival mode. So right now, your ancestors are acknowledging that you feel like you're just getting by, that you're just barely surviving, but they want you to tap into that inner power we all have. I mean, all these golds and yellows are very much the color of our solar plexus, which is our chakra, our yellow chakra, which is our place of empowerment, where we stand in our power. It's our core center. And this is acknowledging that you need to go beyond more than just survival mode. It's time to start living. It's time to start thriving. Um, it's almost kind of like all that glitters isn't gold, kind of feel as well. But they are acknowledging that you are gold, you are golden, and that life needs to be lived, and you need to go beyond that survival mode. Um, and your other card that came out is tune into your female feminine lineage. So you have spirit telling you to get the strength to help you through this, to help you thrive more. Start reaching out and connecting with the women on in your heritage. Um, Whether one side or both sides, they're acknowledging I don't think it matters, but to tap into the strength of your female ancestors, to guide you, to show you how during their difficult times, how they found ways to be able to thrive in life. Because survival was very, very important. It was much more difficult. They didn't have the luxuries that we did. So moving forward, when you have moments where it's like, how am I going to survive? Reach out to them, let them help you, give you the strength, the insight, signs, especially, if you need signs, paying attention to when you're out, whether in nature or you're out in a store or something, hearing certain music or songs or hearing certain words that will capture your attention. So, tuning in to your ancestors' family lineage. So, they're tuning in. They are out there reaching out to you. You just have to tune into them. Um, your tarot cards, I got the King of Swords, and I asked my pendulum if this is a gentleman in spirit, and I got a yes. So this King of Swords is somebody who was, how do I say this? How do I say this? I'm looking for the right expression for you in this reading with. So the Kings of Swords were somebody who was able to communicate very clearly. He um, with the swords, this is about, and again, with it being swords are also connected to spirit as well. So this is somebody who was very adept in communication, leadership, very articulate in what needed to be said and done. This is somebody who was very analytical, very practical. The King of Swords are supposed to be like the most, while the queens are grounded, the kings are the ones that kind of express the fullness of being able to be grounded and be able to rule or able to dictate from a place of calmness, of but very clear insight. I'm trying to find the right words. For me, swords also represents careers, like for me, military. Again, forms of communication, technology, science. I'm going to see what you say. My daddy, Jabberbox. Okay, so again, yeah. I don't know if dad was military or had some sort of connection to military. I'm learning how to explore these a little bit more. But I'm going to go on to the other ancestor. So I got the Page of Pentacles, and in this deck, it's represented by a woman. And the Pentacles are the slowest moving. So this is somebody who's more grounded. Let's just start out with that way. This is somebody who's very grounded, very connected to academia. They were very secure. Well, so with the page, it was okay. So this was somebody who was very interested in learning, um, taking the time to. It's an excitement. It's a youth card. So while this person is an adult in spirit, the energy is very young. It's kind of like, wanting to learn, wanting to explore, wanting to be able to. Um, I'm looking for the right words for this card here. Having that desire to learn, having that need to learn. Somebody who really wanted to get to the root of the matter. Someone very connected and grounded to the earth. Maybe wanting to, like the weather. Okay, I'm getting weather patterns. Being able to go out into nature, being grounded, and being able to, or was able to, or wanting to learn from those who could, um, track animals, um, for survival, that could, understand, migration, that could understand cloud patterns, that could understand, things with soil. This person was very much interested and connected to the earth, and wanting to learn as much about earth, their nature, their connection to it. I'm going to stop right there. I'll look up in a second. In the middle is you, like you said. You're a Libra, so this is about balance. So for me, one was on both sides of you. As if I'm looking here, I'm trying to figure out how I could sit. I am feeling that this would be possibly right side, and this could be left side. But anyway, you were in the middle of these two. So these are two people, I think, that are closest to you with ancestor, that is is there. When they're that close, or where they're connected like that on both sides, it just feels like they're much more connected and following through. They're your guides now on the other side. And I think a lot of times they help you find that sense of balance, help you find that core sense of being able to move forward. With the going beyond survival mode, it feels like she is lending, her understanding about being grounded, learning, teaching about being practical, how to be grounded, how to be connected to nature, not being afraid of learning. Again, going beyond survival mode. I don't know if it's something that you want to explore with education, and then again, you got the Kenosaurus coming in and saying, yes, learning how to communicate better with others, with yourself, sending you the supportive energy, and you in the middle, taking in their their guidance, their presence, and finding that sense of balance. And really, again, acknowledging the tuning into your feminine lineage. They are there to support you through this moving forward. And that's what I have for you, my dear. Sounds like my Aunt Frances. Very cool. My mom's middle name was Frances. My mom's name was Mary Frances, but she spelled, I think, with a E and not an S. I'm with an I. Yeah, my Aunt Louise used to call her Mary Fran, and oh, my mom hated that. So, we got one more card. That's right. I was going to wait for this till the end. So, bring this all together, we get the ceremony card, Mousy. So, I call upon those heralds of winter, dimming light for better sight. Hear thy praise spilling from thy lips, a spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me. So, again, going within and acknowledging, their presence, acknowledging that, however ceremony it is right for you. This could be building an ancestor altar and putting out, maybe, you know, the man, your father, I believe you said, maybe putting out a drink of some kind that was his favorite, or a certain food or an item or something. And then your Aunt Frances, if you feel this is her putting things out, things that help, or pictures reminding us and acknowledging our ancestors, And that could very well be the ceremony to create, to go through the veils and to acknowledge that, you know that they are there, and asking again to tap into and tune into your feminine lineage for them to help you and guide you through this time that you're going through. So, all right, that was that. I almost forgot that card. Bye, Jack. See you later. Thanks for popping in. So let's see, what time is it? It's 1:25. Oh my. So that will be, I have to do one more reading, and that's for Kristen Louise. Aw, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Kristen couldn't make it today. Well, couldn't stay in the chat, but I missed reading for her a couple times. So I'm going to go ahead. This last message will be for Kristen Louise, and let me just go ahead and put a banner on here. So I'll just write Kristen so that she'll know that this was that, and the timestamp is what, 126. Kristen Louise here reading. And thank you again, everybody. And if you could just take a moment after the show's over and leave a comment or just an emoji, that would be wonderful. All righty. Greatly appreciated. And I just got to take a quick sip. Okay, Kristen Louise. She wanted to look into her Irish family that survived the potato famine. So anybody from Kristen Louise's heritage that survived the Irish potato famine, if she can receive a message from one of her family members from that era. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. So Lulu, this is going to be my last one, sweetheart. I've been on for a little bit. I'm just going to do this because Kristen had to leave. I will be back on tomorrow, though, with Jonathan Daly for our live painting session. And a couple hours later, Roman from Gold Moon XY will be joining me, and we'll be doing readings. So I can do that for you tomorrow, Lulu, if you like. Okay, let's see, Kristen. Let's grab from this deck. Nice. Okay, so I am going to open a book here. Let's see, it's hard balancing the shows with working. Mine isn't too. Yeah, I get you, girl. I know there's another show coming up at 2. That's why I wanted to make sure that I was done in time. Oh, wow. Okay, so Kristen, your card from the Ancestral Healing Oracle that came out again is Develop Familial Compassion. So for me, ancestors from this time period coming through. And I opened up the book this time, and it says, understand your family's struggles. So what's this acknowledging is that you are nursing hurts from particular family members. And they are saying, like understanding, maybe looking at understanding their struggles in a way to see how it could apply to our time. But there is acknowledgement of having possibly difficulties with certain family members. And they're asking us to remember what happened to them that shaped their particular personality and outlook on life. So they're asking you to look at all forms of, um, so what they went through to help you get out of sense of judgment, condemnation, and harshness, and try to see them in a new light. So there were things that they had to do during their time that probably just to survive and to keep family alive or certain members alive, probably resorted to things that they regretted doing. You know, basically every man, woman, and child for themselves. Trying to every family trying to save their members of their family. So kind of maybe looking. They're acknowledging this aspect and asking you to look in this day of time to see where this might be happening to you, with certain family members, trying to find and understand where they are coming from and trying to understand how they were raised, what their environment, was like. Um, and it says empathy softens your heart and leads towards kindness to yourself and others. So, trying to walk away from the harshness of what had happened to them, well, and to you, and to approach it in a new light of not saying, having to love them and forgive them, but just having some empathy, having a little bit of compassion. Um, and I'll move on from that one. So, your Yuletide is perseverance. And this is, again, she's trying to grab all of those apples. So I'm thinking in place of apples, thinking of the potatoes and the perseverance that they had to have during that lifetime. It says here, stay in thy power, dear child, for thy lonely is never alone. So when you feel lonely, when you feel isolated from the family, just to know that you are, never alone. When the world is dreadful upon thy, turn to the spirits within you. So, I'm sure they did prayers and they did things to appease, whether they might have been of a pagan faith back then, or if they were Christian, having to hide their pagan belief, but whatever it is acknowledging for you to, like they did, just to persevere. And that times when you feel lonely, you feel left out or isolated because of the situation with family, to know that your spirit, family and spirit is there is always with you. You're never alone. And you have yourself to love. So that self love is so important right now, for you to be able to turn to. Bye, Irene. Thank you, my dear, for hanging out. So, Kristen, out of your tarot cards, the top card I got is the Two of Cups. So, they are acknowledging this message, as with their time. So, they're telling me to continue the analogy. Again, relationships back then, very close ones, very bound ones, not bonded, committed. Um, to me, they're acknowledging. So I know that there's something that you're telling me about earlier, with close, loving relationships. So I think you know what this is. I didn't know if you wanted me to, how much you want me to put out there in public, so I'll refrain. But this is about the close, loving, intimate partnerships that you have in life. And your Irish family that survived the potato famine, they had to learn how to work with one another, especially if they did not get along. That was a part of their survival, was to find ways to stay amicable with each other and to remember that, you know blood is thicker than water in a lot of cases. I know this is a little different to go off with this card, um, but the underlying energy is about the chariot, and that's about taking control. They were able to take control and survive and do what they had to do to survive that period of time. And now this is them reflecting this back to you in this time where you have control of the reins. You are the one that can control how you feel, um, and where you want to direct the flow of your life. And especially here, with your relationships. And that Two of Cups can also, again, emphasizing along, your own personal relationship with yourself, especially with that perseverance card, knowing that, even though you might be alone, or feeling lonely, you're never alone because you have you. And with that chariot card, it's also acknowledging that, with your ancestors being there, to not hold on so tightly where you can tend to lose control, finding that beautiful balance, and you can get that there yourself. And that middle card, um, I got the Fool. This is about you, like them, taking that leap of faith, having faith moving forward, that life is full of potential. These relationships in your life that might be struggling right now, they still have some potential, and you will be able to discern once you get those reins, in hand, and you can direct and guide your energy and know thyself. That will make the Fool open up more to you, the potential of things that you want to do with your life, and to not be afraid of taking that leap of faith. I can't imagine, people, surviving, having that survivor's guilt, during famines and during plagues and accidents like that. So again, they're acknowledging, look at what we went through. And again, it's not a hierarchical. My pain is worse than your pain. It's about, say, what for us at this time, this is how we dealt with our pain, our grief, our confusion, our frustration, not knowing what to do. And so here they're kind of giving you an overlay, or an analogy, metaphor of, you know, um, just persevering, um, making the best out of the relationships that you can, of course, with those boundaries in place. And when you do grab those reins, that will be dictating boundaries as well. Because as you move yourself forward in your chariot, they can't tell, people will not be able to sway you off course with their opinions. You will be in control, complete connection and control of who you are. Once again, I keep hearing, know thyself, and acknowledging and recognizing your potential, girl, and taking that leap forward. And Kristen, that's what I have for you, my dear. And that ended up being taken down. So that was Kristen's. It was supposed to be left up. I wonder why they took that off. Anywho, oh, hey Hershey, what's going on, girl? Thank you, listening and being present. That means a lot to me. Aw. Oh, you are. Oh, what's this? I was driving when you were on earlier. I was listening, so I could not chat. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry I can't hit as many shows, Hershey. I try. Right now, I'm trying to work on a novel, and so my time is like I get too much caught up into YouTube. I'm like, no, because then next thing I know, I look at, I'm like, oh my god, I was supposed to be writing. So, but yeah, I will be in touch, because I do want to either follow up on the Delphi case, or if we want to take another look at the Flora. I mean, I really feel bad for the Flora girls, um, but to be honest, there's so much cover up with that, with the local authorities, allegedly, according to Heather and her what she thinks. This is for entertainment purposes only. Um, but yeah, anything you want to relook at, or if there's something new, let me know, because I would like to get back into um, doing the readings, because for a while there I stopped because of certain opinions that kind of colored my decision on what I wanted to do on my channel. So yeah, I know where you're at. We all have time for it all. So yeah. But I'm glad you're doing your show, and I still love that microphone that you got. I would love to get like an indigo colored one at some point. I don't know if I have an adapter or whatever you call those slots, your HMDI or something for another microphone or video or something, but I'll figure it out there. So, everybody, thank you again. And I appreciate you joining me. My dad's Irish family was all about them all working together to survive. You never let each other down. So, and again, though, too, sometimes people did what they had to do to make their family to survive. And yeah, it's awful when you have to live like that and you choose, I won't go there, but we all, understand that humanity, that trait. So they have a purple one. I was kind of more like an indigo kind of blue, like this. And look at, oh, this smells so good. This is rose, tansy, and a hint of tobacco. Oh my God, it smells so good, Hershey. I love it. So, alrighty. I just got I know I haven't watched mine either. I'm like, oh my God, do I want to watch that? So, alrighty. Again, everybody, I will be back tomorrow. Afternoon with Jonathan for our live painting session. So grab your crafts, your art supplies, your sewing, your crochet, your knitting, whatever it is that you love to do. Come hang out with us, maybe work on something to give as a beautiful handmade Christmas gift, Yuletide gift to a loved one. And then Roman will be with me Friday, also later on tomorrow night, helping me celebrate my birthday a day early. So anyone who wants to join, again, I'll be able to put the link in chat. So we will see you all at some point, hopefully tomorrow. The rest of you have a beautiful day, and we will talk to you all later.